people on their ass and can't move. They can't do for themselves. The black lady who I seen on 60 Minutes beat the shit out of her. One of them voted for her. Remember that video?
I got you.
Black lady on 60 Minutes beating the shit out of her.
Hey, well, being able to come back live, another video. I'm gonna get into a couple of things tonight, family. Give me 1 second, right quick. Yeah, Money Mac, I'm gonna get back with you, yo.
Yeah, I would.
Peace. Hey, well, being Willie, like I said, I didn't want to just. I wanted to come back tonight because, like I say, tomorrow. I know in Houston, I'm here in Houston, and it's gonna be like they have like 220,000 COVID vaccination tests be ready to be distributed out here in Houston. And I just thought it was interesting because I want to really just kind of lay out, like, because a lot of people think that they misconstrued thinking that the COVID vaccination or immunization shot, right, is a cure, right? But what we have to understand, family, is it's not a cure. Is if you have COVID-19, you have it, then they're gonna give you a shot, and once they give you the shot is supposed to help build your immune system up, all right, to help you, help it prevent you from being, even more sick with the symptoms, right? Because remember, it's a virus, so whatever your immune system is like, then actually you'll get over. That's why so many people have what they say a quarantine time, and then they're back to normal, or if they get it twice, then they just usually do a quarantine. But with the COVID vaccination, family, I just want to know who out there, is going to take it, and if you're going to take it, what is your reasoning for it, and do you have research to back up that's just going to help you? Okay, because remember, we just got it, and just overall, what it basically is just like the flu shot. And I don't know how many of you guys have had the flu before, but with the flu, if you get the flu shot, it's not going to prevent you from getting the flu, right? What it's going to do is going to help the symptoms, be less severe. But if your immune system isn't strong, then it doesn't matter if you take a flu shot or whatever, because your immune system is not going to be able to, overcome not only what the virus is doing, but the underlying health issues. And that's another thing. I mentioned this in the video I did earlier about, how and what research and what have they put out transparently to let us know, like say, if you have high blood pressure, diabetes, or something like that, that if you get COVID, you die. Because just on December the 11th, I think it was 12/11, on Friday, they said like 3,000 people died of COVID in one day. One day, family. That's huge. And like I said, it has a 95. This vaccine has a 95% success rate. Now remember, it's an immunization shot. And what does that mean? Immunization. That's like helping your immunization system, helping your immunity system. But if you're not eating healthy, drinking a lot of water, getting sleep, it's going to be pretty tough for you. Okay. But I want to talk about 3 reasons. I know if you've been watching, what they've been saying on the television about how, melanated and Hispanic people are, disproportionately getting COVID and dying from COVID. And so you have to ask yourself, man, wow, how is that possible? And they'll say, melanated 1.5 or almost 2 times likely to get COVID and die from COVID. And so it's Hispanics at a lower rate, though. But you got to ask yourself, how is that possible? Where did they get that from? And 3,000 people died of COVID in one day. Come on, family. Where? What was the demographic? Normally, they like to break down, that type of information. But I promise you, just like they said, what's up, Tex May? Yeah, I know. Yeah. And just look at the research. The research says that If you get COVID, you have a 99.9% chance of survival or recovering, which is just, if your immune system is nice and tight, you're good. But it's three reasons, and I say why I feel, people should be apprehensive about taking anything that you're not sure of. I mean, just ask yourself, anybody, you know, dying from COVID in your family, or that that in abundance, that's not already sick? Because remember, this is the same format that happens during flu season, like now. I mean, a lot of people that are sick, that have, you know, diabetes, high blood pressure, respiratory diseases or disorders. I mean, if they get sick with the flu, it's gonna exacerbate the situation, and they will die. That's why you have like 30, 40, 50,000 people die of the flu every year. It was like 80,000 in 2018. Okay. But I wanted to say, there are three reasons why I feel, you know, if you like myself, and like I said, me being a teacher, I don't know if they're going to mandate us to take uh, the vaccine. But like I say, you always pay yourself first. And so I promise you, I won't be putting myself in a situation where I take anything that I don't know anything about. Just kind of, and to each his own. You just got to ask yourself, how comfortable do you feel? And if they say 95% of it's effective, it's not going to prevent you from getting it, but it will help you with the symptoms, right? But I know that for melanated people, there's always been an apprehension about going and receiving these type of treatments. Even when it comes to testing, I know, melanated men, black men are very apprehensive about that. And there are three reasons why. I mean, if you just look at it from a historical analysis, go back to the 1930s. And in the 1930s, I don't know if you guys ever heard of something called the Tuskegee experiment, what happened in Tuskegee, Alabama, at the Tuskegee Institute. And I wouldn't necessarily say it was at the Institute per se, but the Tuskegee Institute, as well as the Department of Health for the United States government, they got together and did experiments on African-American males, under the guise that there was helping them with anemia. Or actually what it was giving them syphilis. And they were trying to do a study to see how well black males would do with syphilis. Now, if you look at the underlying meaning of that, they say it was only 600 people that received it. But remember, it was just individuals just going in and volunteering for this. Now, that's something that, once you do the research, I said, well, why would anybody, especially us, go in and voluntarily get injected with a vaccine or with some type of immunization shot? Why? Well, under the guise of that experiment, they were told that it was for bad blood, to help you with bad blood. If you have bad blood, this shot was going to help you. But what it basically was actually syphilis. But they was told that it was bad blood, which normally back then that was associated with anemia, with iron deficiency. When in actuality they was given syphilis. And did you just think about the number of men that have wives, children, other girlfriends, boyfriends, that it had spread throughout the community. And so if you think for 1 minute that spread of syphilis, because of that Tuskegee experiment, it lasted 40 years. Remember, it started in 1932, and it didn't end until 1972. And so so you just imagine, and it started in Alabama, just think about how many people, and just think about the 30s, how many of us, migrated from Alabama to the north. I know I've been here in A-Town, there's a lot of people that I know that live in New York, New Jersey, Boston area, Detroit, all in that area up there, right? But if you go back to their grandparents and great-grandparents, a lot of them came down from the South. And so when this big experiment was going on with syphilis, imagine the impact it had on the community, right? And then, of course, when it got out that it happened, the government actually acknowledged it and paid a lawsuit, a class action lawsuit to some of the surviving family members. Now think about this. How can it just be surviving family members when it went over for 40 years? And you know how we get down. You know, we baby kids. I mean, we don't die, we multiply. And so we have all of this, you know, these diseases, this syphilis that was infected into all these people. That's a lot of people that died from that and had a lot of complications health-wise. And once you do the research, you'll see that it actually affected the life expectancy, you know, black men back then. And that's why now you see the life expectancy of us, you know, it's a lot shorter. And you got to ask what contributed to that, right? And the reservations about going to doctors and whatnot, because when the medical science itself in America does something like that and acknowledge it, you have to be cognitively dissonant not to have some concern about that, right? And so that's the first reason why, you know, if you have any type of historical information back, you know, going back to the Tuskegee experiment, they injected African-American males. They say 600. Come on, let's keep it 1,000. And then don't you think it's an accident? You don't think it's kind of weird how black males' life expectancy is shorter than others? But you look at us, okay? Oh, thank you. Thank you, No Bloody. Hey, you know what? I'm thinking so. Appreciate it, tell it like it is. No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. But like I say, this if they do mandate it, you know, that's why I say pay yourself first. You got to be able to reinvent yourself. And if you have, you know, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And so, you know, you just got to get the knowledge. I mean, things just, you know, you got the Tuskegee experiment. You got the HIV virus in the 80s, okay? And then you have this. You don't think it's kind of strange that each one of these viruses affected, you know, melanated people and Hispanics, okay? But then these people are the strongest out there. And so if you're going to take it, don't go on what someone else is saying. Okay, I don't know if you've seen my video earlier today. I was talking about how, you know, Dr. Fauci calling us brothers and sisters and want us to take the vaccine because an African-American female helped develop it. What? You know what I'm saying? So you got to look through all of the nonsense. If 99.9% of people survive getting COVID, think about that number. Then where is this? Where's the panic? The panic. You know, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I was just in Austin and I went to the hospital, and you know, hardly no one in there. All right, and then so it's like if you're getting information, family, make sure that information you're receiving resonates with your spirit and resonates with your consciousness as well as your intuition, because everything that's been told to you is not an accident. And so the history of what's happening, you have to take heed to it, okay? So those three things I just spoke of are some of the main reasons why, I mean, as, you know, quote unquote black people or so-called black people, there's a reservation. And I would just, you know, if you just research right now, what is the third leading cause of death in America? You'll be shocked, okay? You're talking medical errors in hospital, medical errors. The third leading cause of death in America? I didn't say that. And what's the number? Up to 250,000 people a year die from, like I say, misdiagnoses, sepsis, which is infection. And this blows me away. How can you have an infection from a surgery in a hospital that's supposed to be totally sterile? Riddle me that. You know, you go in for a knee surgery or going for an appendectomy, and you're sitting out there and you come out and the doctor says, sorry, you know, they didn't make you. You're like, well, what happened? He developed an infection. What? You understand what I'm saying? So we have to, you know, be more cognizant. And what I mean by that is your health, and it's not an accident why the immunity system isn't really taught well when it comes to diets and when it comes to eating healthy. Your immune system can be built up by eating healthy, drinking a lot of water, and getting that good sleep. because that's going to help you feel a lot better. And eating good food, and I'm telling you, it's kind of difficult right now when you can go to the store and good food, you're looking to see if it's non-GMO. That again, non-GMO, what's that? All right. So, family, it's just, we got what Texas was actually volunteered. And I don't know, Texas made, I don't know about you, but I didn't get a vote. I didn't get anything in the mail asking me to vote on whether or not, as a Texas citizen, I would agree to having Texas participate in the COVID vaccination distribution. I don't remember that. And so now we have like maybe 1.3 million COVID vaccinations coming to Texas. That's strange to me because where's the transparency? Because I don't know. I didn't get a vote. I didn't get that vote. And I'm pretty well versed on keeping up with things. I didn't get anything in my mailbox. I didn't get anything in my email. And so to just kind of make these decisions like this arbitrarily, it's crazy. So I guess if you don't vote for president, then your vote on other issues don't count. And remember, the president is just one branch of government. He doesn't make all the decisions. And right now, you have a Congress where you have so many people are in hard times right now due to the government shut down all these small businesses. And I'm just saying, I'm not just throwing out no rhetoric. I'm just talking about stuff I see. It's a lot of people that are struggling right now. And being a teacher is really a trip, because I've been in school, and because I'm doing virtual and I'm doing in person. And I have my same kids coming to school. It's about 30% that comes face to face. And guess what? They come in every day. And none of them been sick. All right. And I don't know if you heard, but they said students are going to be the last ones to get the vaccination. Now, if students are the last ones to get the vaccination, then why aren't students in school? See, it doesn't make sense. So, family, make sure you pay yourself first. And like I said, before I go, I want to tell you about looking into some research about biotech stocks. All right. Now, right now, I'm not even saying anything about the stocks in the Dow Jones or the stocks in the S&P 500. No, I'm talking about biotech small stocks. All right, and do some research on those because those are the ones that can really kind of boost you up and get yourself in a kind of nice little situation where you can then flip that and get the land. Because ultimately, remember, the objective in order for getting the wealth is to enter real estate. And I'm gonna come back with another video about that. And if you have not initiated investing or know the first step to do that, I can tell you that what the first thing you want to do is to pay yourself first. Second thing you want to do is to open up your brokerage account. Open up to one of those high yield savings accounts, like I said, just for entertainment purposes only, but like Ally, Fidelity, Charles Schwab, these type of brokerage institutions, the banks are not going to give you money for your value of the money you have in the bank. Remember, they don't have to have a fractional reserve anymore. They can take all your depository funds and loan it to somebody else. And you're not making any money off of that. Okay, so look into opening up your brokerage account. And when you open up their brokerage account, family, it has like 3 different type of accounts in there. You got an individual brokerage account. You have something what they call an IRA, which I definitely recommend you get an IRA, especially if you're young, as well as getting older. And also they have something called a cash management account, which is going to give you more interest on your money than having your money in Wells Fargo or Chase Bank. And the ultimate objective, family, is to kind of gain some financial education, some financial literacy, so you know about those percentages. And when the bank is telling you only giving you this much money, but to have your money, go somewhere else. I told you before, I do really recommend online saving, online banking, like Ally and BMI, because they give you more money for your money. they give you more interest. And I think, all these banks right now, they do online banking anyway. Okay. And so if they're doing online banking, then bam, you might well have an online bank that's going to pay you interest for your money. Thank D, what it do, man? Minnesota in the house. Okay. So all I'm saying is this, family. During a time like this, when so many people are, having hard times, you know, saving your money is cool, but just leaving it in the bank is not going to do it. And I would definitely suggest you open up your brokerage account and start putting some change back, because I promise you, the market right now is so overvalued. It's based off of phony money. And when the market does crash, and what I mean by crash, it's like almost 30,000 points right now. There's so many people that predicting, and I wouldn't just say predicting, I would also say, just based on the history of these people and how they rob us, if you can just get a little of that knowledge and see some of the things that they do, you can do well. And as an empath, as someone that's conscious, as someone that's empathic, it breaks my heart to know that there's so many individuals out here that sleep, that has not opened up their third eye. I mean, this matrix is real. I mean, think about so many people right now going to go out and go get this COVID vaccination and don't have any clue about what it's supposed to do or what it's going to do. And there's been already people right now that received a lot of side effects from it. And if you're young, I mean, let's keep it 1,000. Young people they don't die from it, And, I'm just here to give you some food for thought, to give you an opportunity to kind of think objectively. Because see, when you get put in that circle, you tend to become cognitively dissonant. I mean, it's a lot of reasons why, if I was, a person that wasn't conscious of what's going on, I can see me going to get shots. I can see me, staying home and doing virtual learning when I know that this information that I'm getting virtually is hindering me, because it's not just the academic learning that these students are missing out on. It's the social development. And to be caught up in a house like that, not being able to get out socially and be around friends and develop socially, that's a hindrance. And they're not going to see it right now, but emotionally, psychologically, mentally, it's taking a bearing on a lot of people. Domestic violence is up. Child abuse is up. I mean, these are numbers that you don't really see on TV, because all you're doing is lying about the COVID numbers, okay? And then about this election, okay? JL, what it do? Okay? Hey, you know what, Jay? And this is so much speculation out there. And I'm just going to tell you, like Jay was saying something about, he read about a microchip in his side. The microchip, guys, and that's another fear tactic, okay? The microchip, you have it every day. It's in your phone. See, all of this extraterrestrial, special type of fear mongering that, because remember, all the information that's out there, they give us that information. Okay. The information that's out there is given for a reason. The divide and conquer is real. All right. It's not an accident why you have people that are pro-vaccination and people that are anti-vaccination. Okay, red and blue. It's not an accident. One bird, same two wings. Okay. Kenny, what it do? No doubt, Kenny. Yeah. I mean, and like I say, December 26th, unemployment benefits run out. I mean, think about that. Where's and there hasn't been one other agreement made by Congress. Now, see, all you people out there, I'm voting for president, I'm voting for this. I did encourage you to make sure that when you vote, that you look at them voting for Congress. And I will ask you guys, read me this. Is there anybody out there that know a congressperson personally, or have a friend that know him personally? I'll wait. Because how can we talking a whole year? All of these homeless people, all these people need long food lines that they never show on the television. All of these businesses that are closed down. I mean, how can you justify that? By not, I mean, all of the money that you're paying taxes. And I tell you, family, please don't sleep on every time you go buy something, you pay taxes. All right? Online shopping was up 51% this year during the pandemic. You did? And so there wasn't a matter of, and I promise you, I will have to give you, I need some more transparency to see these numbers. 3,000 people die in one day. Really? And that's all we get? No, I need a little bit more information than that. Because for online shopping to be up 51%, that tells you the number of businesses, brick and mortar businesses that are out of business. So it's going to be tough out there. I promise you, it's going to be tough out there for a lot of people. I think, when they talk about this economy being so well and doing so good, if you've been in the garden, that's hype. Remember, the market capitalization to GDP is the true, picture of the economy. And when your stock market is way up here and goods and services way down here, that's overvalued. And something's wrong with that picture. All right? So, family, pay yourself first, stack your chips, because, for those that are, paying attention, you're going to do well with this market crash. And it's going to be unfortunate, but for a lot of people, but like I said, it's not an accident they don't teach us this in school. The finances that we're supposed to get, to know how to, write a check, fill out a job application, learn exactly what it is about interest. How much am I going to have to pay per dollar for you to loan me money? Right? So that kind of stuff can help you tremendously. And if you have small kids, I would definitely recommend that you teach them about interest. Okay. Teach them about banking accounts, checking accounts, things like that they will be familiar with early, not until they get 18 years old. Think like right now, how to invest. All right? Oh, no, tell it like it is. Nothing's going to be done about that. What's going to happen is what they call, this is the news. Like I tell you about the real news and the fake news, this is the news. This is what we want you guys to focus on, okay? It's the holiday season, and it's going to be so unfortunate for a lot of people. So that's why I say, if you can, family, please save your money and invest it, because the generational wealth that, a majority of Americans don't get to participate in, it has to start somewhere. And it's going to start with knowledge. It's going to start with, just learning how to actually know how money exists. Because remember, money don't exist. Currency is all it is. We put the value on it. And since we acquiesce everything that they say, then they'll be able to dictate everything that we do. All right? And so, educate yourself. Like I said, if you are going to take that shot, may the Most High decide you protect you, because I can't see it. They have a flu shot out there. Every year people take flu shots every year, and more people die from the flu. And remember, if you didn't get a chance to do that research, look at the third leading cause of death in America. All right? And like I said, I'm going to wrap up by, if you just came in, I want to wrap up by reiterating the reasons why there's so much apprehension if you're not melanated, and you probably wonder, man, why do they say, why are they trying to encourage black people to take the vaccination? Why are so many black people apprehensive about taking the vaccination? Well, if you have a historical analysis of the medical system with so-called black people, you'll see why. Tuskegee experiment with just literally injecting young black men with syphilis, for 40 years. You know what I mean? When they had a cure, HIV, because see, we're not stupid. Come on. How can we be the most athletic, all right? You look at us physically. I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist, to see that. Well, how is that possible? If the outsides are superior in nature, intrinsically, right? You're trying to tell us the insides are inferior. It doesn't make sense. And so there has to be some type of, system going on where, in order to weaken the system, something outside the body has to enter that system to weaken it. And I just have to look back at all the immunizations and all the shots that have been given over the years. I mean, the level of autism that's risen in our communities, the number of special education students. I mean, come on now, that ain't how they go, right? So, yep. I tell you what, guys, it's just not an accident. Okay, you can't say, well, I can see them, I can see that. No, you can't see that, because every time you're watching the professional sports on television, who you seeing? So you can't say that, no, those people are, they're more prone to get sick, but you know what? If you go back to 1932, when for 40 years, black males were being injected voluntarily, mind you, under the guise that they were being given a vaccination for bad blood, which during that time that meant anemia. In actuality, it was syphilis. To see how the black man would react to syphilis. And when you talk about for 40 years, and then you look at our life expectancy going this way, no, it's not by accident. HIV, come on now. Crack, come on now. Okay, so this is systematic. So before you think about that COVID test or the COVID vaccination, just ask yourself, what are you doing to get yourself healthy, actively, through your diet, to drink a lot of water, okay, getting that sleep, eating vegetables and fruits, So, like I say, no doubt, Johnny, it all comes down to revenue. It all comes down to money. When billions and billions of dollars went to the pharmaceutical companies, and you got $1,200 and unemployment benefits from the run out December 26th, a day after Christmas, come on, think how cold that is. If you're receiving unemployment benefits right now, that extension, a $300 extension, December 26th, it runs out. A day after Christmas, how cold is that? And remember, I just voted. So I'm trying to understand why they haven't received any, stimulus agreements to make sure that these businesses get to be back in order and whatnot, because I'm trying to understand how you can watch professional sports. They have professional sports going on, football, basketball, soccer, all these guys, all these athletes out there, they don't get sick, huh? Okay. So, all right, family. In the meantime, between time, may the Most High inside bring you joy. I appreciate you guys for joining me, and thank you again, DG, Minnesota in the house. JL, thanks for joining me. Texas made, man, it's crazy out there. Johnny Chan, thank you for coming in, man. And tell it like it is, no doubt. Kenny Time, no doubt. And in the meantime, between time, may the Most High bring you joy. And being with us out of 5,000.